There is an advocacy group for second chances, and they got in touch with the Commonwealth Attorney in regards to the interest that are paid on penalties. Now, when somebody's incarcerated, their fines begin, I guess, the day that they go in, and there's 17% interest rate, which is a ridiculously high interest rate. And so when the person who was incarcerated is released, that fine has compounded 17%, I guess, per year. And it makes it very difficult for the ex-offender to pay these fines. They can't have their rights restored until their fines, are paid. But and the Commonwealth Attorney said that all he's doing is what other, Commonwealth attorneys, are doing. And as I say, it's nothing that we can do about it, but I tell you, that's really piling it on.
Say that they're 17% compounded
Right.
when they're released from,
Let's say if you get 3 years,
right?
and if your fine is X number of dollars, then that 17% is compounded until you're released.
Is that a state statute? That's not.
This is, what he's doing is following the lead of 106 other Commonwealth attorneys. And I'm just bringing it to our
That's
attention.
ridiculous. Because the judgment rate of interest is what, 9%, 8%?
Around 8.
By statute, yeah. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and it's killing families, it's killing the ex-offender when he gets out.
No.
So as I said, there's nothing that we can do about it, nothing you can do about it, Marcus. But I just thought, I'd bring it out as a retired judge,
Well, why can't we, can I ask you this, can we put this, if it's a Richmond issue, can we mark it as something we want to raise on our legislative agenda for next year? That it should be something that should follow the civil judgment rate of interest and not be a usurious amount? That's usury. I mean,
Yeah.
And it's not fair that you're picking on basically the poorest people. So if judgment rate of interest is at the time, whatever, 6, 7, 8%, I mean, that does move. Can we make that part of our package for next year if it's a Richmond issue? And frankly, I go back to that other aspect. Is there something we can do? Sure, there is something we can do. How many times is it a letter from the manager that says such and such a grant or such and such a increase of a budget issue? So there's things we can do if we ever wanted to go that.
Well, let's ask the city attorney to tell us what's really happening.
Yeah, I mean,
To take a look at it and
but it's something if we can make it to Richmond. we
find
can
out
make it a
where the
package
statute
issue.
is that gives them the authority to charge 17%.
Yeah, that just sounds egregious.
Where does the money go?
That's my question. I know where the fines go, but the 17, where does the interest go?
At least not let it start until they get out. I mean, my gracious, you're in jail, you can't work.
Right.
You can't,
I mean,
you can't
you
live
do,
in jail.
you get pennies.
Yeah.
No, I think it goes to the Commonwealth or the city, depending upon whether the conviction was under the code or state code.
Okay. We'll find
That's
out.
a great idea.
Good.
All right, Terry?
Real quickly, I know we're voting today on the special exception for Waterslide. And I understand the feeling that we had a single special exception for MacArthur, and we know that Cordish is going to be very anxious to make sure their businesses are following the rules, and I know that you're comfortable in doing that. But I was struck by the argument that Cordish made at planning, and that was, let us do this because we can do it much quicker than the city can. And I think that speaks to this issue again. And we've talked about it before, about how cumbersome the special exception has become. I know we've made some progress in that, but I think I would really like to see whether, and I know when special exception first came out, what the value was, but whether or not we have outlived that value, certainly to make us consistent with other localities, and to recognize that we hear from businesses all the time talking about, and very frankly, even if we're just interested in our own administration, to make this an easier process for them. But I'm going to listen to what you all tell me, that we're going to be safe with this special exception, and Waterside, we won't get into the difficulties that we've had before. But I would like us to look going forward on making some changes that might help us.
Sure. Okay, great. Alvita, anything? Mr. Green?
Yes, going around and talking to some of the people who work, what is the procedure for, replacement of those neighborhood signs if they get knocked down or, you know, the mermaid signs that identifies each neighborhood? What is the procedure for having them replaced?
Ms. Green, we just changed that procedure that relates to the neighborhoods, and I can get James Rogers to get a write-up to the entire council.
Okay.
Okay. Andy, wanna-
Just real quick, just following on what Ms. Green said.
You
I-
missed your turn, buddy.
Yeah, but I just remember, I was on Martin Avenue the other day, and I know that's been an issue of repaving. I drove it as soon as you come off Lafayette. I was showing my wife where I spent the first 8 years. And I pulled right, and I was shocked at on the road. I mean, it was very, and I understood why that kept being brought up. And I understand, can you tell us, is there a timeline on repaving Marne? On be the north side of Lafayette Boulevard, on the Tony's Hot Dog side is probably the easiest way to tell you all. Do we have a plan on that, guys?
According to Public Works,
Richard's
it's
got
like
it.
a year away.
Richard's go.
Richard Broad.
Yes, sir.
Public Works.
We looked into that. We worked with utilities on the Fairmont Park project. We're partnering with them to replace all the infrastructure. So we've requested that they put that section where Marne is at the front of the line instead of toward the back where they had it.
Okay.
We're probably looking at kind of spring, summer timeframe before they start working in there.
Of this year.
I'm hoping this year, but let me check on that and get back to you.
I'd hate for it to be another year.
Yeah.
That doesn't
No,
put
I
it
don't
on the
think it's
front
gonna be
end.
another year. We put
Okay.
a lot of pressure on them to push this to the front of the line.
All right, because
It is, it's bad.
it's very bad. Thank you, I appreciate it. It's that first block coming in off Lafayette.
What's the completion once they start? Do you know? The completion time once they start?
It could be, well, it depends on how much they do. They do kind of a whole street at a time.
But that street,
That street, 3 months to 6 months, I'm guessing, just based on the length of the street and the weather.
Yes.
It's very weather.
Fairmont Park.
Marne.
okay,
Marne
thank
Avenue.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Not Fairmont Park.
All right, okay, who was next? Angela?
I don't have anything except, I don't know who this, I'm gonna figure that Jeremiah is a little boy. And I guess he sent us what looks like a report card of some sorts for some reason. But it looks like he has showed tremendous improvement in his phonetics, in his, word fluency, in his oral reading. So I just, since he sent it to us,
We're proud of it.
absolutely, Jeremiah trustee, whoever you are. Looks like he did a really good job, because it looks like he came from under the benchmarks to well over, the benchmarks. So, yeah, that's all I have.
Tommy?
Yeah, I got a few things. First, to go along, I thank you, Terry, for bringing up about the special exception. Have we looked into putting a sunset clause in there that if they were to sell and transfer the property to another operator?
It's been a while. Bernard,
I'm sorry, I just heard the other question.
Have we put in a clause that if this is transferred to another operator, Waterside, that operator has to go back through a special exception process? Instead of letting them keep the blanket, so that there's a sunset in there if something were to happen. I think that's probably one of the bigger concerns of this, is that the longevity, if something happens 20 years from now.
We don't have a termination upon sale provision in special exception.
Just, this was all part of the negotiations that went on, how many years? I mean, to get to where we are
No,
today.
I support, I'm just wondering what we could do to protect the future. I'll be around, but I just, I want to make sure that if, and maybe today's, I just thought of it actually when Terry was talking, what are we doing to protect the future? And if they were to sell it to an operator that doesn't promote the same thing that Cordish does, can we stop that? It doesn't impact Cordish, doesn't change anything with them, because by that point, they want out of the deal anyway.
And we
So-
do get some protections on who could buy it, that they.
Right, I
have
remember
to-
that.
Right,
Right.
be a certain size and
Sure.
certain experience.
But I think for the ABC reasons.
It used to be that you had to come back if you had a new manager, but you don't have to do that anymore. with
Right.
the
But we don't have
ADC.
to do that with a new owner or new, operator. Is that too late to add in there?
Yes.
It's very tough from where we are.
Okay. I thought the article with the dispute of the tax companies was really embarrassing for the city. And I don't know if anybody's been out on Military Highway. I have no sympathy for tax companies during this time with the garbage that they put out on our medians and they put everywhere. But we've got to have, and I don't want George to have extra work, but we've got to have people out there citing this. And I don't know if you've been on the Military Highway corridor and saw what they're doing and how those two, the Family Feud, and what they're blowing up. They're blowing up giant statues of liberties, but then they're bringing in Mack trucks with giant banners on them. All the tax places are, we've got to protect the look of our city, and I think that we need to hold them accountable. And they're going to get business regardless of how many Statue of Liberties they put out there. But we've got to protect. We've got to hold to our codes and our standards with that, and we've got to hit them on the weekends because that's when they do it, when we're not at work. So we've got to find a way to handle that. And there's a couple of mattress places that do that, by the way, as well. TFC Recycling, I see they were good to us, and they decided to go out and pick up on the weekend, but it was a little bit too late. By then, the memo went out to pull your recycling bins back in because they're not coming till the next recycling. Mine was the only bin on my street, but a couple of days prior to that, there was probably about 15. But my homeowners association sent a memo, said they're not coming until next week. So once again, we've got to find a way to get that information out faster. I think our guys do a great job, but we're relying on TV media, and I don't think they're doing us justice with that kind of stuff. So there was a request made when we were talking about senior tax relief and looking at eliminating the 3.5% interest. Has there been any movement on that? I think there was a general agreement with most council members at the time that that was an unnecessary charge.
Yeah, I believe Councilor Smeagol, the charge to the administration was bring back any changes in one lump.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So are we, with people who've deferred now, there's an interest being charged to that? So you don't think there's something that we could do to make sure, or will that, if we end up making the change, are we going to eliminate that? Are we going to go back and say, can we retro?
We could, I mean, we could. When we make the change, we
Sure.
could retro the change or whatever.
I'm not 100% sure how that works. So if that's the will of the council, if that change occurs, I don't want to say, yes, we can do it, and then there's some type of ramification from tax code, but we'll take that into consideration.
Okay. And then Councilwoman Williams and I went to Richmond for VML Day, and it was briefly mentioned with the joint school board meeting, but we just want to bring to everybody's attention that there was a little bit of a hiccup in the budgetary process with Governor McDonald's recommendation, and that there's about $1 million cut to our preschool program by taking 251 of our slots. And you heard that Andy and the great editorial with you in there about expanding our preschool initiative, but if that budget goes through, we are going to end up losing 251 slots of our pre-K program this year.
And it will lose more next year.
And what has happened is that the only way that it can be fixed is during budget negotiations. So we spent almost the whole day trying to talk to legislators and other people about making sure that Brian did a great job. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that was just missed. And Virginia First Cities and VML were working together and caught that. And it was just interesting to see the impact that we actually use our 1,800 slots and they're penalizing us off of an old formula, and there's no hold harmless clause in there. And that's what we were asking for is with that. And basically, our slots are going to end up going to localities that currently don't have the pre-K program, and we don't even know if they have the capacity to handle those pre-K programs, but we are using them. So if we lose that, we already have 600 in waiting, we're now going to have 850 in waiting, or this council is going to have to look at our budget to make up that difference if that's one of the areas that we support. So if everybody here needs to be contacting, not necessarily our legislators, I think generally, except for one from Portsmouth, that seemed to brush us off, but I think if you can contact other legislators, it really will impact us. Most localities, it was only about 50 slots, but for us, it was very high, it was 250.
And our slots go, and some of our slots even go to localities that did not even use all of the slots that they were allotted. The formula was done, there was a hold harmless last year. So we kept our numbers. This year, this coming school year is when we're gonna lose the 250 something children in preschool. And then next year, we'll lose more children in preschool, and other localities will get those slots. Some double their slots that they got. And again, like Councilman said, some of them you don't even know if they have the capacity, and some of them didn't even use the slots that they had. Yeah.
Have you told the school board about this?
It was apparently brought up at the meeting. I must have missed it. I think it was a little side conversation, but it was
Dr.
briefly mentioned. But Dr. Simmons was up there
Mhm.
working it too, and Brian has been on it the minute they found out about it. Lieutenant Governor knows about it. It's one of those things that's going to be really tight because really to do the hold harmless, it's going to need $23 million total for the whole state in order to hold harmless. So they can't just single out Norfolk and save our 250 slots. They're going to have to do the whole everybody's.
But the
So
problem is though, is the formula overall. That's the problem.
they're basing it off of pre-K and kindergarten
Yeah.
enrollment, not what actually your population is, and that's where the issue is.
And so the formula itself needs to be revised, because otherwise we're gonna be in the same predicament next
Brian did a good job.
budget cycle. He did a really good job in making sure we got to, all the council, all the, delegates and legislators, had a long conversation with Delegate Alexander, who's on the OEI, Senator Alexander, who's on the OEI, board, and, I think it was a good conversation that we had in terms of where our schools are going, what the school system is doing, where they've been, and where they're going. But this issue, it does affect.
When is this going? Is this going before committee?
It's in
Sorry.
crossover. It's going to be a budgetary.
It's the amendment, because it was in the current budget that McDonald put in before.
Tommy
Why don't we
Norman
have,
was a-
is it
We need
possible
to
to have,
get to him.
is it possible to have Brian let us know to testify when it comes up before committee? I mean, one of the ways to get is to get in front of committee when it is to testify.
That's the problem, the way the legislator's going now, nobody knows where these are happening. It's very confusing. All the lobbyists up there are trying to figure out when these amendments and things are coming up, and it's a complicated thing. We tried to get Tommy Norman before he went into his committee, but it really wasn't even discussed because it's not a bill. It's a budgetary issue.
Amendment.
Budget conference.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in the appropriations, in committee, first of all, right, coming out of the budget in the House. And then, the conferees will take a shot at it. But we've got, at least we've got good representation in the budget committee now, finally for the first time.
Would a resolution or anything from us
Sure,
help at all?
absolutely,
we-
we can get one drafted.
When
Send all
is
the
our next meeting?
legislators.
And not only that, though, send it to all of the entire, not just our people, because our people are good.
We don't meet
It's
till the 25th.
rest, it's
Yeah.
preaching to the choir with our people, it's the rest of the
Well,
GA.
how about a letter from Paul?
That's 8 days. Yeah.
I mean, Paul's,
Yeah.
Paul's letter would carry the weight.
Sure.
If we did it, am I right?
If we can get a letter out right away, yeah.
I
and
think
we
if Paul got a letter to him and told him.
What'd you say?
And represent the unanimous.
Right.
Right, yeah, but, yeah, 25th, it's 8 days, session ends 8 days after the 25th, so they'll be voted on the budget sometime. We might be able to get a resolution too, and
Let's get Brian to write it before he leaves.
We'll get it up there this week. Okay, we'll have to, the other two agenda items are basically reports, which we'll do next meeting. Sure. Okay, so we'll start right at 7.
Your meetings,